Hello everyone. I haven't shared a video in a while. I've written some things on Facebook, but I haven't made an actual video. I'm gonna try to keep this one kind of short. I had a dream either yesterday or the day before. I'm recording this video on 2/13/2025, and the dream itself was kind of weird. It was like it felt apocalyptic, but it also felt kind of fairy tale-ish too. I don't really know how to describe it. But the other day I took a nap, and I had this dream where there was a bunch of people walking around this area. I'm not sure where it was. And I remember I was looking up at the sky, and it had like a blackish red tint to it. It looked kind of almost like something out of a movie, almost. And I remember we had this thought that we were preparing for something, and we didn't know what it was though. Like something was coming. And as I'm looking at the sky, this black and red, I start to see this gigantic, I don't know what it was. I'm going to tell you what my mind was trying to tell me it was. Maybe it's just my familiarity, you know. But I looked at it and I saw this gigantic light, fiery being in the sky, like in the clouds. It was like kind of like a storm cloud. That's what it kind of looked like black, red, storm cloudy looking sky is the best way to describe it. It was like grayish but black and red at the same time. It looked very, very ominous. And as I'm looking up at the sky, I see this gigantic blackish red figure, and my mind trailed off to two different things. The very first thing I thought of was like, that looks like a freaking fire giant from mythology. A giant fire looking creature in the sky. It started moving around in the clouds, like kind of in the not it wasn't in the cloud, but it was like there, and the clouds were around it. And I clearly saw this being. At first I was looking up at the sky, just looking at it, and I saw this. I was just kind of like just taking in the sights of this weird black, reddish, ominous looking sky. And then I saw this huge figure that started moving, and I'm like, what is that? And I look at it and like, holy crap, that looks like it's like a fire giant in the sky. And after that, everybody starts, they start panicking. And I look from the sky, and I look down, and I see like this. It wasn't really an imp. It was more like, because you have the little impy creature people describe, where it's like kind of like a little gnome looking demon. This one wasn't like that. It was kind of like the generic thing you would think about, like a little winged demonic creature with like a little weird spear in his hand and little wings on him. Flew down from the sky, picked a human up, and took off with him. I don't know where they went. And this next part is weird. I'm not gonna tell you who it was, but it was like we were all coming together like this little group, and I'm still looking up at this being, wondering what it's gonna do, because I didn't get a good feeling from it. And I look over and I see somebody, and he had like this. I don't know. This is like the weirdest part of the dream, honestly, because I don't know whether there was an intrusive thought being shot into my head. I tell you guys, I feel like there's a spirit. I don't know who it is or what it is that's trying to send me dreams and visions and revelation, but there's also an evil counter source that is shoving intrusive thoughts into my head, trying to make it to where I can't receive this information. I told you guys, 3-4 years ago when I first started telling my testimony, that these beings, whatever they were pissed off that I got information that I should not have had. And now I've been getting these downloads or visions and dreams over time, and I think that might have been what this was. I'm supposed to warn you guys about these end time prophecies and about Trump and whatever else I'm given to reveal to you guys, I told you guys, I think there's a possibility that Trump is the beast. I don't know for sure. In my mind, I can't say 100% sure, but I feel like, it says the beast is gonna usher in the Antichrist era. Now, that could happen two ways. It could be doing completely diabolical evil stuff, or it could be being so good to the point that it causes persecution. Because a lot of things he's doing right now, some of them I don't agree with. I'm not going to go into politics with you guys, what I agree with, what I don't agree with. But the point is, he's pushing things way, way, way too much, way too quickly. And it's going to cause massive pushback. I told you guys I had a vision before his election. I said multiple times that Trump was going to win the election. There was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I was told Trump was going to win the election. I didn't know it was going to be by a landslide. All I kept hearing when I would worry about it, because I was like, I don't want to share this. What if I'm wrong? What if I'm wrong? Is don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I wouldn't steer you wrong. It tells me no, he's never going to leave me. So I was told that, and so I shared it. And I told you guys how I had the vision about the young Trump with an angel over his shoulder, and then I had the older Trump, the now Trump, with a demon whispering in his ear. And I told you I had all these thoughts of him becoming very, very arrogant and full of himself. I told you about the Absalom vision I had, where he literally was so arrogant to the point he rode out into battle, just like the story in Absalom in the Bible, and hung himself and got his neck slit. If he is the beast of the Bible, it says he's only going to reign for 3.5 years. So if his presidency ends early, whether it's something, I hope not. Like I said, I don't wish ill on nobody. I'm only sharing, guys, what I hear and what I see and what I experience. That's all I can do. Like I said, I'm an open-minded seer now. I'm not a Christian. I'm not spiritual. I'm nothing. I'm just whoever. Well, I would say kind of spiritual, but not in the New Age sense. I don't follow that bullcrap either. Okay, I follow whatever this presence, whatever this spirit is with me, decides to share with me. No. If it's, I know it's a God. I know I can't say whether it's God. It could be a spirit of prophecy. I don't know. You guys look at it like a bad thing, but that's not true. There's spirits that are for specific things that God sends to specific people, like spirit of prophecy, spirit, all these other different things. I don't know what the spirit is, but I've decided that I'm going to follow, on faith, on whatever, who or whatever this is. If he wants to reveal to me that it's Bible stuff, then I give him permission to do that. Do whatever you want. Share with me whatever you want to share with me. And right now, the things that I've been given, originally I thought were just Bible until I started studying more into stuff, and I realized that it's not just the Bible. I realized this world is just like the Bible states, or other, it's a prison. This is a spiritual prison. And the spirits can easily narrate and create stories on their own. So I'm not saying a fact. I'm just saying the possibility. I told you guys, I think there's a possibility that your perception and what you think in your mind is powerful, that you could be creating your own reality. Now, what I mean by that is creating your own idols, creating your own gods in your head. I'm trying to explain better so I don't come off as because I'm not attacking religion. I know there's a God, but just in my testimony, I was warned that these beings are going to try to pretend to be different gods. And Yahweh, or the God of the Bible, was no different. He was a part of that group. Now, if these spirits are able to influence people, which any true believer of Christian knows this, they can. I tried to say implant thoughts earlier, but that's not what I mean. But they try to influence humanity. They try to send like thoughts to you to help influence your decisions. Now, there's a possibility that they could have narratives play out the way they want because they are sending these suggestive thoughts into people's heads to make things go the way they want. This is one reason why I sit there and I see these things happening, whether it's the mention of Jesus, whether it's Christian persecution. Now, let's say worst case scenario, and these, like I said, just theories. What if Christianity is not the one true religion? What if I've shared with you guys multiple different sources that shows that the narratives in the Bible, some of the narratives in the Bible, aren't original. They've been recreated. They've been changed culturally. Now, what does that mean? Does it mean that the Bible is not original? Does it mean God wrote it again? Does it mean that God's word never disappears and so it's been written over and over and over and over throughout centuries? I don't know what it means. But, or, does it mean that there's a much more ancient truth the Vatican's twisted and they stole a bunch of different narratives and mythologies and this and that from these stories of these ancient times and created their own based on real life events? And I think there's a high possibility, and y'all can get mad at me, I don't care, that Jesus came here for a specific purpose and he got martyred for something that he didn't want. If he truly was studying ancient stuff, which if you look into some of the ancient stories, and he actually did study into like Buddhism and these things, and he knew these ancient stories. You're telling me, this guy, he had this knack for knowledge. He didn't decide to study into the Anunnaki tablets and all these other things and have all this knowledge. And then some of these things that he's sharing sound very, very reminiscent and similar to some of the things that have been sold in these other ancient manuscripts and stuff. So there's a possibility, and it talks about, Jesus talked about, heaven is within you, talking about the light of the eyes and all these other different things that are very reminiscent to like the way Egyptian stuff used to talk. So I think there's a possibility that Jesus never really intended to be worshipped to begin with. He came with a purpose to help humanity out of this bondage. He awoken, for example, like other people, like me, like other people. They hear the evil in this world. They hear what these evil spirits do. And I think there's a possibility, he says he dies to cover everyone's sin. But upon doing that, he also has his Holy Spirit, which comes and helps you. He comes in here and he can filter through these thoughts and give you positive thoughts. Or like, I think a reason why I hear a lot of negativity is because possibly I might hear negative thoughts that are being kept from people that are in this oneness, this body that the Corinthians talks about. I don't know for sure. These are all theories. It's the only thing that I can try to justify how evil and bad things I hear in this world. You don't really hear much good stuff. I'm like, well, maybe I don't hear the good stuff because it's allowed to go to you. It's not the good stuff, the happy stuff, the smiley stuff that he's going to be trying to filter out. It's going to be the evil stuff, the stuff that's going to try to make you be mad, angry, lustful, unjustified lust. You know what I mean? Simple things. Anyway, this is getting longer than I thought. My other dream I had, and I don't know what that dream meant. I'm not saying it meant anything. I'm just going to share it because it's there, and I don't know. Now, I'm not saying the Bible is true, false, whatever. I don't know that. Nobody knows that for real. You can't 100% say 100% fact that the Bible is 100% truth. You can say that based on faith, but you don't know 100% true. The Vatican and these people, all it would take is if the Vatican wanted control, if the Vatican wanted a reason to control the populace and have reasons to attack areas and take over areas, like I can't remember exactly where it took place at and who did it, but like the Crusades and other religious based attacks to justify the way these things are, to keep these people in lockdown, have these laws. Now, I understand, even Jesus says, like, the laws are important. But it wasn't the most important. There was many times in the Bible where Jesus broke the law on purpose, for the purpose of the people. And Catholics are very, very big on upholding the law, confessing all the time. It's like you're in a bondage of rules, man. And it's weird to me. And I can't shake it, but I just have this bad feeling about the Vatican and the Pope in general, and just those group of people, and that they don't have the best interests, and that they took a lot more ancient knowledge and they created Jesus into somebody he wasn't. That's like, he came to explain about spiritual awakenings and the evil of this world and how you can combat it, and the true Father. I think there's a possibility that maybe the God of the Old Testament is probably not even the one he was talking about to begin with. Yahweh sounds a lot like an evil God, in my opinion. And there's many times where they legit told him that you don't know my Father. You follow Satan. And also on that, that's another thing I want to bring up. Let's say, hypothetically, Yahweh is the God of the Bible, the God Jesus talks about, all this other stuff. Satan is only determined by who your enemy is, right? So, it's all perspective. The God that Moses followed was supposedly the Abrahamic God, right? But in the eyes of the Pharaoh, his God was the one true God. So, Abrahamic God would have been Satan. And vice versa. To Moses, Pharaoh's God was Satan. See what I'm getting at with this? Right now, I don't know who the true God is. This leads to another dream that I just had a few days ago. I had a dream. I was like in this very, very beautiful area, and I saw this very, very beautiful, energetic light. I don't know how to explain it. And my mind told me that was the true version of God. This all-present, all-encompassing, loving energy. I didn't see a figure. I didn't see no one talking to me. It was just this overwhelming, beautiful light. I can't remember whether it was like kind of like prism looking, like different like colors in it. And I don't want to say rainbow, but not quite, because it was like a light, but yet bright white, or whether it was like completely bright white. For some reason, I can't remember the whole thing, but I do remember that I saw this brilliant light, and whether he spoke to me telepathically or whether my mind was telling me that this was the true version of God, this all-encompassing light. And I'll tell you guys, I think that God is he's anything, everyone in anything. He's the life force. He's the consciousness. He's the one that allows you to have thoughts, to act and breathe and think and all these other things. And I've experienced things like this, having my thoughts taken away, having my breath taken away. And I'm just having trouble. I'm having trouble 100% following the Bible no more when I'm finding ancient stories that are very, very reminiscent to it. So I believe there is truth to it because the history backs it up. But I also believe there's a possibility that there has been fallacies added into it for control measures. And that maybe Jesus wasn't crucified just for that particular reason, but he was crucified for trying to unbind these people. He was sharing ancient knowledges, trying to get these guys to question and spiritually awaken and understand that this world is not good. And the controlling people didn't like that. So, in order to really slap him around, they eventually ended up crucifying him and martyred him and put laws and rules and everything on him to take away the freedom that he was trying to bring to begin with. These are just thoughts that I have that are possibilities. Like I said, you guys can attack me if you want. I don't care. I mean, none of you guys, very, very few of you guys ever acted like you gave a crap about me and my fall and my thoughts or anything like that. So I'm to the point where I'm going to do what I feel I need to share and what I need to do. And, if I end up right, good for me. If I don't, oh well, I don't care. The true evil of the world is slowly being revealed. A lot of things that used to be conspiracy theories that people used to get laughed about, they're not so laughable anymore. When they used to talk about these sacrifices and these child pedophile rings and all this other stuff, it's not a joke anymore, is it, guys? When you have all these Disney people coming forward about the evil in the entertainment industry, and y'all used to call them crazy, and they just wanted attention. But it's not like that no more. I told you guys before all this stuff came out, I had a dream last year sometime where these people felt like, well, I had two different dreams. One of them, I was like walking around this area and it was like people were getting paid to really do nothing. It was weird. And then the other one I had where it showed these celebrities walking through this portal and demons taking a hold of them and like just becoming them. I told you how these spirits influence and try to make you have impulses and thoughts and do stupid things. And you guys have witnessed time and time again stupid decisions that people have been making and doing. Whether it's losing thoughts mid-sentence, saying stupid things. Let's use Kanye, for example. Dude was literally praising Hitler and everything else and then got all butthurt and deactivated his Twitter. Or X, what are we going to call it? I say it time and time again. These spirits are here. They're trying to influence humanity. And the hour of temptation is either here or it's coming. So, be aware of that. I'm going to leave. It's a long video. Anybody has any questions, comments, concerns? You want to pray for me? You want to try to lead me back to the light? I applaud it. I've prayed, I've asked for guidance multiple times, and I've been down, I've been, instead of being led down a solitudinal path like the Bible or something like that, I've been getting these desires to learn more, study into things, question things, and figure things out. I'll tell you, when I see a lot of these, I told you just the other day how I believe these evil frequencies, or whatever they're called, what are we going to call them, seem like they could be possibly man-made in order to help control people. Like, I know it sounds crazy, but the mind is powerful. And if you can find ways to send frequencies or hidden messages into your mind, you can control people without even realizing it. The only other, the other option is maybe I'm hearing my mind or whatever, my spirit, God, whatever, trying to send these signals to me to make me have the thought of it. But I think it makes way more sense when the Bible directly states that children of disobedience will be allowed to be given over to temptation. And it talks about temptation with these spirits tempting you in your mind. It's spiritual warfare. They mention over and over and over again, it's in your mind. And how do you create pattern besides through repetition? So you get these messages automatically based on your own thoughts. Sometimes you get random. It's just depend. These beings are given assignments to make you certain ways, to change you certain ways, to turn you out of whoever God designed you to be, out of your character. So, and I hear it and I see it every day. I'm sure there's other people out there too that are talking about this. Things are going to keep heating up. I'm still wondering what happened with the fires over in California. I told you guys there was going to be an attack over on the California coastline, but I didn't know what it was. Was that what I was warned about? Maybe. I don't know. Is it from, I thought maybe it might have been from overseas, but I thought we were going to be attacked on the California coastline, and I just came to the deduction that maybe it would be Russia and China coming to attack the California coastline due to the population, and that would be one of the first places they tried to attack if they did attack. If that's the case, then it's still a possibility of coming into fruition. Told you we're supposed to be in war in 2 years. Things are heating up. I'm not quite sure how far along the timeline we are, but it feels like it's getting there. I don't think we're going to be able to take over Gaza like Trump wants and have it go over so nicely. I believe it's going to start some type of war. I don't think they're just going to back down and let it happen. There's a lot of people against it. Saudi Arabia, Iran's no. Then you got, Trump being arrogant, trying to say, Canada can become the 51 for. Canada's mad about that. Trying to rename the Gulf. The arrogance is all over the place, guys. This guy is doing too much, too soon. And just doesn't care. This protection he's trying to put on Christians it's going to do the exact opposite. You'll see. You tell somebody not to do something, what do they want to do? They want to do it even more. The people are rising. He's creating enemies all over the place. And these people are going to rise up against him. That's what I feel like is going to happen. All right. God bless you guys. Take care. I love to hear other people's thoughts and opinions. If you think I'm wrong, if you want to lead me back to the light, if you believe Christianity is the true path, pray to your God and have him reveal it to me. Because there's a part of me that thinks that maybe part of this is your test. That I'm being led and guided based on whether you guys care or not. In my testimony, I was told all these spirits I hear in my head, sometimes they sound like real people. And I was told that you guys are being tested based on how you treat me. And so far, through sharing messages, trying to warn you guys, asking for help, there's been no pastor that's legitimately reached out to me in earnest by himself, really, that's offered to give me a deliverance session, that's offered to talk to me one-on-one. I always have to be the one to do this, and I've been sharing this stuff for 3 years now. You guys claim to care about your people, but you don't reach out to them. Why is that? Why is that? Why did you see? And I'm not referring to myself. I'm referring to other people as well. If I'm over here bawling my eyes out, clearly seeing me confused, questioning religion, you would think a good Christian, there's been a few of them that's been trying to help, and I appreciate it. It shows me they at least care about my well-being. But the majority of these people are completely silent. You go to church claiming, oh, I'm going to help save people. I'm going to bring them to Christ. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And then you have people that are literally screaming for help. Where are you? Where are you? Nowhere. You're too busy selfishly worrying about your own life. So, I share this stuff regardless of what people think about me, regardless of whether it kills my reputation or whatever happens. Because I don't care. I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about my morality. I'm not worried about where I'm going to go when I die. I don't care. My fact right now is that I'm getting shown and revealed information that I know there's an afterlife. I don't want to live in eternity having all this information that I never shared. I refuse to do that. I don't want to have a dream or a vision of some place getting destroyed, or like the war and things that I can help you guys prepare on. How I told you, prices are going to jump up, things are going to start getting hard to come by, this and that. Give you guys the option to prepare and do something about it. Then sit here and watch it happen and be like, I could have done something, but I didn't. That's the main reason why I share this stuff. I don't care if people call me crazy, whatever, that's fine. In time, this spirit that I feel inside my body, that I speak to, will either speak for me or it won't. And I'm okay with that. I believe that's what it really means to go on unwavering faith. I don't know what this is. I don't know who this is. But I still follow regardless. I said a long time ago, I'm going to share this stuff despite my beliefs, despite what I think. And that's what I've been doing. And that's what I will continue to do. I told you guys a long time ago, I may not always be a Christian. I don't know. Right now, I'm not considering myself anything. I'm just studying, I'm being open-minded, and I'm just watching. I told God, if there's any moment that you want to reveal yourself to me, bring me back, then I'm open for it. But I can't keep seeing these programming messages, these programming dreams, claiming to be this and claiming to be that, but yet it won't reveal nothing Bible worthy. Let's just put it that way. Test it, guys. Make sure you're talking to a true source. Make sure it's a sentient being that you're speaking to. Make sure it's not just some automatic programming message. If you can hear to those that claim to hear God, test it. See if it just speaks like a weird automatic message and then just disappears. See if it'll actually hold a conversation. See if it'll answer a question for you. See if it'll actually show that he's sentient. Because a lot of times I talk to him, it sounds like it's just automated to respond to what I say or do, but it won't sit there and have a conversation with you. It comes in, says what it wants, and then goes away. Now, there's other times where I have this being that can talk, can do this, can do that, has sent me visions and dreams, and I've had weird spiritual battles in my head where I've seen, angels flying around fighting. I've seen myself, it's crazy. And I'm like, okay, if I can sit there and I can see these images clearly in my head, I can imagine, like say, I can imagine an angel right now, and I can literally see it flying around, fighting stuff, or whatever the case may be. Like I can create the image, but then I can just I can unfocus off of it, and it'll still be playing. It'll still be doing its own thing. So how can I tell what is a real vision if I can do things like that with my own mind? I could, it's, you guys got to be more discerning. Or go on faith if you want to. Like I said, some of you guys have probably had experiences that I haven't had. There's people out there I've said that, they've had testimonies where they sit there and they talk to Jesus for an hour. That's awesome. I could sit here and say I talked to Jesus for an hour too. Because there's beings that will claim to be that. There's beings that he may be him. I don't know. I've asked for him in his time, whenever he chooses to, whether he does or does not, to reveal himself to me in a way that I can't deny. Because I experience a lot of things, and I can't just blindly follow everything. I've seen other spirits create complete narrations in my head. So I can't just go off of that. I was like, if you truly are real, don't just, I told you how Jesus, floated up to me, talked like this little automated narration, whatever, and then said, your life's going to be changing dramatically in the future, and then floated off. I told you how I saw him sleeping. I told you how I saw the dude that was fixing my boat. But these are all narration. They feel narrated. I was like, if you want me to truly believe that it's you, then I want you to come to me in a dream and sentiently speak to me. Don't come to me with a message. Just come to me and tell me, hey, I told you I would come and here I am. You have questions for me. What are they? Not something that feels like it's been like a script written out and then shoved into my head to make me think of it. Like a lot of all this is. And you're telling me, is that not possible? Can the all-powerful, all God of everything not do something like that? Maybe I sound selfish. That's fine, But after you've experienced what I've experienced and see, hear, feel on a daily basis, it takes more to persuade me. I'll just because if I just blindly if I see a picture, an image of God pop in my head, which I have, I've seen like a big man in the clouds. I've seen a guy with a beard. I've seen this white robed figure. I've seen different angels all the time. I can see them whenever. I mean, they pop up to me. I see visions that I know that I didn't send to myself because I wouldn't have thought of it myself. But are they real? I don't know. I had a bout, just a fun little spiritual bout, like sword, shield, whatever, with an angel. It was like a literal, I just imagined myself in the spiritual realm, and this angel came down, and it was just a fun little fight. Now, if I can do things like that, then other evil entities can do things like that too. That's the warning. So, test it. Just test it. If you hear it, test it. If it sounds automated, I told you, some of it sounds like it's like chain reactions. The more you talk to it, the different responses you give, you'll get different responses. But some of this stuff, if you start speaking to it, you'll start to understand it's some type of weird frequency. It's not really sentient. It will respond. It will sound real, but question it. Don't just let it answer what you're thinking or what you're saying. Question it. Like, tell me what you just said. Tell it that. Say, what? Because they'll be like, it'll say something to you like, I'm trying to think. Like, let's say you have a thought. Let's say you have a bad thought randomly out of nowhere. Because humans, we fall. We have bad thoughts. Whether it's a lustful thought, whatever. And this automated message, it'll pop through saying, oh, you shouldn't have thought about that. You shouldn't have done this. You shouldn't have done that. And it's like, I see everything you do. I'm like, okay. You tell me what thought I just had. You tell me what I just saw. You tell me what I just seen. Things like that. Test it. Don't just go automatically on these basic bullcrap messages, is what I'm saying. If there's anybody out there that has, that hears things, it's maybe schizophrenic or things like that, test it. A lot of time you will understand there is some sentience there, but there's something to it that's controlling, that it's just based, it's sent to you to confuse you, and it's not sentient. It's programmic. It's programmic. So, I'm closing off this message now. Video. Too long. It's like 40 minutes long. I only got on here for like 10 minutes to share those 2 dreams, and then I figured I would have just like a little update because you guys have probably seen me going all over the place. Just be prepared for what's to come. And if my hunch is right and ends up being different than what you expect, don't say I didn't tell you so. Okay?